Taurus, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements. And if you've been interested in receiving a personal reading, I am offering a promotion for the month of May. So have a look at the description below if you've been wanting a reading. It's a great time to get one. All right, my friends, let's get started and see what messages we have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead. What's the current energy around Taurus? Okay. Ooh, Taurus, seeing 3 cards come out for you for your current energy. So we've got the 8 of Swords with the Empress in reverse and the 2 of Wands. So sort of taken together as a little story, this makes me feel like you might be in a state where you're overthinking something to the point where you've gotten yourself into a state where you're not moving forward at all. Like you're sort of stuck. And you're stuck because there's something that you're overthinking instead of just doing it. You know, when I see the Empress in reverse with the 8 of Swords, that makes me feel like we need to just not overthink things. And if we have an idea, to experiment and just see what happens, right? Like, you know, you might be thinking about doing something creative or by doing something new to bring something new into your energy. Like you might be wanting to maybe start a business or do something new creatively to express yourself in a creative way and feeling like, well, that's not going to work. And here are all the reasons why in the 8 of Swords. As opposed to tapping into this 2 of Wands and saying, well, I've got this idea. It came to me for a reason. So I'm going to just experiment and take a little step towards it. Maybe learning more about it. Maybe trying to see what it feels like to engage in this new idea or to learn about this new idea or to talk to people who are already doing this new idea, you know, as opposed to just thinking about all the obstacles, getting yourself into a place where you're like, here's all the reasons why it will fail. Instead of really focusing on like, well, why don't I just see what happens, right? Like when I see the Empress in reverse, that tells me that you've put the brakes on something without even trying it first. Like you got this idea to do something, but you might be overly focused on how it will fail as opposed to just seeing the idea as something that came to you to pull you maybe out of a pattern or out of your comfort zone to try something new. And you know, I've been working on including this in my belief system that if I get an idea for something, there's a reason for that. That we get these inspirations that come in sometimes as just a little idea like, maybe I want to do this, or maybe I want to try that, or I want to learn this, or I want to express myself this way instead of this way, or try this instead of that. And there's no harm in just experimenting. It's not saying that you have to like sell your house and move to the other side of the world and, you know, change your career and be rash. That might be what's happening in this 8 of Swords, is that you're thinking you have to do something really grand to do this. So then you're freaking yourself out and then you put the brakes on it, as opposed to just taking little steps towards things that seem interesting to us, right? And just to see what happens, right? That seems to be what your current energy is. All of that from 3 cards. 8 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So yeah, this is a time to move into the moonlight here a little bit and to try something unfamiliar and to see what happens. No pressure, right? You've got 2 8s here that are guiding you towards a transformative moment. That's what 8s do. They show us where we need to move away from something or do something in a different way, and that could give us new results, right? Different action, different results. Okay, let's see what the obstacle is here aside from the overthinking. What is the obstacle here for Taurus? I think it's limited beliefs from what I'm seeing, but let's see. Okay, 7 of Pentacles. So it could involve a career move. It could involve investing your time and energy in something else, and then you're sort of looking at it and saying why it won't fail, why it won't work, why you should just keep doing what you're doing, even though the 7 to me is the choice, right? So the obstacle here for you is the choice. Choice is the obstacle. And it feels like it's an examination that you're doing to say, well, I've been doing this one thing for a long time, and is it worth disrupting my path to try something new when this is working, but I'm just not feeling it anymore? And I say you're not feeling it anymore because of that Empress and the Two of Wands. I feel like something has stagnated in your current path. And as you look at your path and you're like, well, I have these 2 pentacles that are just sitting here that I could use to start a new path, you're shutting that down immediately through your way of thinking. And your focus is on the obstacles as opposed to on how it might end up being a brand new adventure and a new experiment for you to see what will happen. What will this look like? And again, we're seeing the 10 of Wands on the bottom of the deck in reverse, which tells me that you're done with something. It's come to a completion. You're done with it, but you're resisting that, and you're like, no, I'll just keep pushing through. And when we push past something that we intuitively feel and energetically feel and maybe even physically feel is just over, then, that begs the question of like, at what cost are you going to keep doing something that you feel is done? At what cost? And then I have a feeling you have lots of answers to that question because you've been focusing on why it's too risky and why you can't do it instead of how you can do it. Let's see what's top of mind here for Taurus. What's top of mind? Oh, interesting. Okay, so this card fell out. The Page of Pentacles fell out. So what's top of mind for you is this new idea, this new seed. And the pages are all messengers. And so you've been receiving signs about a new idea. You've been getting sort of aha, flashy moments in your mind that are sparking this brand new idea that you keep shutting down. And that card came out and these 2 flipped over in my hand when I put the deck down. So that tells me that you're having a hard time letting go of a limited belief around abundance and that you don't really trust certain relationships in your life anymore that you thought had your back, but now you're not so sure. So there's a lot going on right now for you, Taurus. It feels like in the experience that you're in, let's say it's a job, because I'm seeing pentacles, and it feels like it could be a shift in your career or the path that, you receive compensation for effort, whatever that may be. It feels to me like what's going on here is that you want to change what you're doing to receive compensation for effort, and yet your thoughts are limiting you because you keep thinking, well, I'll never make enough money doing that. Or the investment I'll put into this won't end up paying out, and then I'll be at a loss. So I don't want to spend any of my coins pursuing something that's an idea because I'm already making money doing what I'm doing. I'm just not satisfied with it anymore. It's stagnating and it doesn't feel like it's where I want to be. And I feel like there's some relationships involved in this that you no longer trust. Seeing that 3 of Cups in reverse. I think you used to think that maybe these are co-workers, maybe these are the management, the supervisors, whatever, the people that are in charge of whatever it is that you do, or the people that you are working with, your colleagues, right? You no longer feel the same way about them. And at the same time, you've got limited beliefs around abundance and prosperity, and that if you spend any of this money, there's a chance you won't make it back. And so it makes me feel like all of that is contributing to your lack of movement on this new idea. It's interesting. 5 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So that tells me that you're sort of feeling like, well, what if I regret this? What if I take a chance and then I regret it? And then what do I do? Right? And so that's immediately putting the brakes on this. Let's see what's driving this reading for Taurus. The 9 of Wands. You're burnt out. We said that, right? Like you're dangerously close to being at a point of actually not being able to do this anymore physically. I think you're at a point where you know, you're either going to have to keep going and push through it like you have been, which is, I think, why we're seeing that 9 of Wands in the first place, is that you're pushing through something that no longer is a match for you energetically. You want to do something else. And seeing the Empress in reverse tells me that you're stuck. You feel stuck. And you feel stuck, I think, because of your beliefs around what's possible are limiting you right now. Let's see what the past influences are. What are the past influences on this? 6 of Wands. So 6 of Wands in the past tells me that you may have tried things before and not received the recognition or the validation or the success that you were anticipating. And so you may be using that as a baseline here to be like, well, when I try new things, it's not like they go well. And so you're convincing yourself that the limited success you feel you achieved in the past will continue forward for you. And it just feels like you're writing this story before you even picked up the book. You know, like it's like you're jumping to the end of the book and already deciding that it won't work out. And I feel like that isn't serving you right now. That it's not serving you to continually focus on how things aren't going to work out. What about looking at how wonderful it might turn out to be? 9 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So even though you have experienced moments in the past where, you know, things didn't go the way you wanted them to go, or they didn't go the way that you were hoping they would go or expecting them to go, you know, or you didn't receive the validation that you were hoping for, I feel like it created some resentment, self-doubt, and pessimism here, because you may have been overly focused on comparing yourself to others. And so by doing so, and I think you might still be doing that when I look at the 3 of Cups, you might still be overly comparing yourself to others and saying, well, why not me? How come it's not working out for me? And how come it's working out for them? And as opposed to just focusing on what's fulfilling to you and moving towards that. You might be overly focused on what other people are thinking about what you're doing or how it's going for them versus how it's going for you. And that may have been a pattern that was established in the past when I see that 6 there. Let's see what the future or the upcoming energy is around this. I think it's going to depend. Yeah, there's the King of Pentacles. So that tells us that it will depend and that you are focused on money. That's confirmed when I see the King of Pentacles. And there's nothing wrong with being focused on money, but I feel like you're focused on the fact that the money won't be there. You know, and as a result, you're not willing to commit to this new idea, even in the upcoming future. Your energy is a bit scattered and not focused because you're sort of focused on the idea that this isn't going to work. That's where your thoughts are, right? You've got this idea, but immediately you're putting the brakes on it because you keep thinking, well, it's not going to work. I won't be able to make money doing this. I won't, you know, like... It's interesting. And then I feel like when your friends try to talk to you about it, you have lots of things to say from the past where things haven't worked. And so every sort of moment here, you're convincing yourself and you're even convincing other people how this won't work for you when they try to talk to you about it, Taurus. It honestly feels like you're putting the brakes on something too soon, too early in the idea forming process. You've already slammed the brakes on this. How does Taurus see themselves right now? Interesting. You are coming through here with the Strength card in reverse. So that tells me that your confidence is low. You may believe that you are able to overcome obstacles, but for some reason when it comes to this situation, I feel like you feel defeated. Already out of the gate. You haven't even left the gate and you're already feeling a bit defeated here. And that certainly isn't going to serve you moving forward, with the Fool on the bottom of the deck also in reverse, which sort of says to me that you're having a difficulty taking a leap of faith right now because you don't have that confidence that says, I can do this and that this could work. You know, it's like you're putting the brakes on here. Let's see, how do other people see Taurus at this time? that you're not being patient enough. Yeah, right? You may be needing to give this a chance. Let yourself try this. And I'm not saying sell your house, sell your business, move across the world. Don't take giant steps at this time if you're not feeling super confident. Take little steps. Start by shifting your perspective on whether or not it's possible. I would start there. Because if you allow yourself to entertain the idea that this is possible, perhaps then you'll start to feel confident to take a little step towards it. To take a course, or to have a conversation with someone who's already doing this, or learn about this more, like get a book about it or something, whatever it is, start to discover it more. Page of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Start to discover who you are when you're not being limited in your thinking. What will you discover about yourself in a place where you're not limited in your belief around your potential? Right? It's very interesting. What are the hopes and fears around this situation? Let's have a look at that. The decision. Yeah, interesting. You're having a really hard time pulling the trigger on this in the sense of going for it, like it feels like there's a part of you that is hopeful and there's a part of you that's fearful. Your hopes and fears are the Two of Swords. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the Two of Swords in that position makes me feel like this expresses that you have on one side you have hope, and on one side you have fear. And it feels like the fear is winning at this time, because I really feel like you've put the brakes on this, and that there is so much potential for self-discovery on this new path. It's interesting. Let's see what the potential outcome is here for Taurus in this situation. 8 of Cups. Yeah. So the guidance here, or the outcome that you're being guided towards, is to move away from something that feels like it's no longer serving you, even though you don't know exactly how it's going to turn out. To take that chance and to trust. We saw the 9 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, and that's what comes after the 8, which is a time of really feeling a lot of fulfillment and satisfaction with something that we're doing, or something that we're a part of, or something that we're pursuing. The bottom of the deck is the 8 of Pentacles. My friends, this is a time of becoming a master at something. And so do you need to become the student first? Yeah, you do, right? You need to learn something really well to become a master at it. And I feel like that's what this reading wants you to do, is not to change everything drastically, but just to start pursuing this one step at a time. To trust that Page of Pentacles when it brings you those signs and synchronicities guiding you towards this new venture, this new path. To have the confidence in yourself and the patience to let something grow slowly. But to take the foot off the brake, take your foot off the brake for now, so that this can get a chance to get moving a little bit here. Really interesting reading for you this week, Taurus. Let's see, to close this reading for Taurus, what is the highest guidance? What's the highest guidance here for Taurus? Poised, in reverse. Okay, normally when this card comes up upright, we feel confident, we feel ready, we feel like, yes, it's time to go for something. So it's no surprise we're seeing it in the reverse, because we have seen that theme come through for you already, that you're not feeling ready, that you're not feeling confident, that you're not feeling like, let's get up and go, right? To bring something out. So seeing that card in the reverse sort of brings out this message that you're not ready to move forward at this time. That's how you're feeling. And that the whole idea of that, be it till you see it. Some people say fake it till you make it. To me, that just says take one step at a time. One little bit at a time. Don't barrel through this with like a lot of drastic change. It just feels like at least start to see that this isn't serving you, that you're stuck in a situation that right now needs to shift, and that even though you don't feel ready to go for it, at least start to think about how it could work out. Like, take little steps towards it every day, learn about it more, try it, experiment, talk to someone who's already doing this and has established themselves, so that maybe they have some wisdom to share with you about what happened when they started up. Try to shift your beliefs around abundance and scarcity. If you're sitting in a place of lack, see if you can shift out of that by reminding yourself that everything's energy, including money. So if we're in the alignment with the vibration of abundance, then really, I know this might trigger some people, but it doesn't really matter what you're doing, because if you're in that alignment, you'll attract opportunities and wealth and abundance no matter what you're doing. You know what I mean? So it's not really the thing that you're doing, it's how you feel about the thing that you're doing and what your beliefs are around this thing. That's really what shifts things. Anyway, my friends, I'm going to leave it at that, but this really does seem full of potential, and the reading is certainly guiding you to take little steps towards this, to improve how you feel about this, and to shift your thinking a little bit around it. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me, Taurus. I hope this has been helpful, and thank you so much for being here. I look forward to reading for you again soon, and I'm sending you so much love, my friends. Take care.